Hey everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Captain Rye, and today I'll be looking at the Yubari here in World of Warships. Yes, that's right, the premium pre-order ship from the CBT is back in the premium store here on, I believe, all of the servers. This is going to be a little bit of a review on whether or not you should consider picking up the Yubari. It isn't known for being the best ship, or even a decent ship. And having had this ship since the closed beta, I can tell you it's gone through a lot of changes and a substantial number of improvements. Fun story, this is actually one of the ships that I didn't buy. I already had access to the CBT, so there was no reason to buy it. And Wargaming's Facebook was running a competition of draw your favorite warship on a post-it note and post it to their wall, and I won with the USS Colorado at sunset because it was an orange sticky note and I didn't feel like drawing details, so very, very shaded. Anyway, we're in I believe this is a tier 5 maximum matchup. So, yeah, we're basically top tier, and we've got a lot of cruisers to shoot at here. Now, the Yubari's playstyle, she is basically a destroyer with a citadel, I believe is the one way I've heard her described. She's got no armor. You're going to have your modules, engines, rudder shift, guns, torpedoes, pretty much any possible module that regularly gets knocked out on a destroyer, you're going to have knocked out on the Yubari with high explosive. Back in the day, she had a major issue where pretty much you could get citadeled with high explosive. They've since buffed the armor, so you can't get citadeled with high explosive, though I do believe you can still be detonated. Speaking of her citadel is gigantic. Pretty much from that forward gun turret all the way aft to her rear gun turret is one big citadel. If you take an armor-piercing round anywhere in that area, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot. As we will see in this battle. I've had some pretty successful battles in this ship, surprisingly. I think that's just because people really don't know what to make of it when they see this ship. She does have torpedoes. They do hit fairly hard, but they're very short range at, I think, just over 4 kilometers. And with the detectability range of this ship at 9 kilometers, unless you have concealment expert, you're really not going to be able to get anywhere close to enemy ships in order to fire off your torpedoes. That being said, however, if you do manage to get close enough using American destroyer captain style tactics, using cover, hiding behind the islands, and you are able to get those torpedoes away at a target, you can cause a ridiculous amount of damage to them. And they reload fairly quickly. At tier 4, I think they've got something like a 30-second reload. Only problem is, they have terrible, terrible torpedo arcs. And we will see that you effectively have to give the broadside of your ship in order to fire off these torpedoes. The Yubari only has 4 guns in 2 turrets. You might look at the ship and say, well, but wait a second, there's a gun further forward, isn't there? Yes, there is. There is a single mount gun. If you look at it, you'll notice it's actually the gun from the Mitsuki on this ship. But it's a secondary gun. It's part of the anti-aircraft, and it's your secondary, and it's the only one. That doesn't make any sense there. So there, see, I've taken some fire coming in here and got a little overextended and forward. Just had a module knocked out. And now I'm on fire and my engine's been knocked out. Oh my god. Yeah. This is the life of the Yubari. And you'll notice I've lost a significant amount of my HP. By the end of this battle, I think I lost half. So that's not a good thing. Unlike a destroyer, the repair cooldown timer, even with premium, is still quite long, and you know, I want to say that I'm a little bit fortunate here that I was far enough along to avoid getting any additional hits. But if you see this kind of situation, if you're playing against a Yubari, if you see the Yubari has come to a dead stop, you should really focus fire on it and get its guns out of the game. As you can tell by the video, the dispersion on these guns is amazingly accurate. Not only is it amazingly accurate, but you actually get the dispersion module now, which means you're basically shooting railguns at people. Friendly Wyoming is working really hard to take care of that cruiser over there. Between the two of us, we're easily going to take care of this guy. My torpedoes are going to fall short of him, but that's no surprise. Just barely outside of my range. If he hadn't had his engine knocked out, he'd be dead. Still, though, you can see the kind of the volume of fire that you can put out on this ship is pretty darn good. It's fairly substantial. A high rate of fire. The turrets turn kind of slowly, but if you think ahead and you play it like the Furutaka and turn those turrets ahead of time based on where you think you're going to maneuver, you can pretty much get all your guns to bear on a target. And the gun arcs are fantastic. Not that it matters anyway, you don't have any armor to speak of for angling, but the gun arcs are fantastic, which means you can, at the very least, present the lowest possible target profile for enemy ships. She's pretty fast, about 34.5 knots. I'm going to get into a race later on with a Phoenix on my team, who I'm going to barely edge out. Still, though, yeah, she's not a bad ship, if played right. She's not a good ship, either. She really is in this kind of in-between zone between being a cruiser and being a destroyer. I suppose if you were playing it with, say, a 15-point Shimakaze captain, she'd probably play really, really well. Having the concealment expert on the ship, she would at the very least have a detectability range more akin to 7.5 or 8 kilometers, as opposed to the 9 that she's got, which, you know, wouldn't mean that you could stealth torp anybody, but you could definitely stop firing and disappear and save yourself in the long run. Now, my team is just utterly dominating this match. We've managed to pretty much take head-on all of the ships that have come down this way. And we're doing focused fire, which is really important when you're playing in the Yubari. You yourself are not going to be able to whittle down a battleship if he's paying attention to you anyway. So you definitely need your team to take the brunt of his attention and, you know, assist you with focusing him down. The chance of fires on these guns, I find, it's a little bit better than most destroyers, but not much. I think I have better fire chances with most of my cruisers that have the larger 6 and 8-inch guns on them. Still, though, that South Carolina, he got focused down pretty quickly, so now we're going to go ahead and focus down this Wyoming, who definitely don't want to be shot at by him. That would be bad there. He just ate a huge chunk of damage, I think, from that cruiser over there. Might have hit him with torpedoes. It's possible he just got citadeled, but I don't think so. In the meantime, I am closing on this cruiser, who is now well within my torpedo range. And he's popped out from behind the island, and I think he's trying to play peekaboo with me, but I think he realizes that there's a Japanese cruiser at point-blank range to him. So he's tried to stop, he's trying to back up. It's not gonna matter at all. You'll notice he's basically full health, and 2 torpedoes, that's all it took. Devastating strike, and he's dead, and now I've focused back on shooting that Wyoming. I've set him on fire in a couple of spots. Let's see if I can kill secure this guy. I do believe, yep, there it is. The other cool thing about the Yubari that you might notice, one of the consumables that I have down in the corner, is an anti-air defensive fire consumable. The Yubari at Tier 4 gets this option. Well, her anti-aircraft guns aren't particularly good by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, the Phoenix has got better anti-aircraft fully upgraded. She does have decent anti-aircraft for Tier 4, and having that defensive fire consumable means that when you're playing against Tier 4 and Tier 5 carriers, especially if they don't yet know how to manual drop, which is probably the case considering they're Tier 4 and Tier 5 carriers, you can hit that button and you can panic them, and you can cause their spreads to be so wide that by the time their torpedoes or bombs reach you, you have the effectiveness of an entire state to sail between them. So it's a very, very useful defensive fire ability. If you want to see this defensive fire ability in action, I have a couple of other Yubari videos. There's no commentary, though I might go back and change that at some point. But I will link you to the video in the description below. So here we are. Basically the end of this battle. What a game. My team has just effectively steamrollered the enemy forces. We've only lost 3 ships, and we've managed to, well, kill the entirety of their team. And we're not even going to waste our time capping in standard battle mode, which I'm kind of surprised to see, because I was under the impression that we were going to see it a lot less. Well, I guess that's just my luck. Oh, so, the Yubari. Is it worth a buy? No, not particularly. It's lacking armor, it's lacking guns, it's lacking long-range torpedoes. I mean, people who bought the Tier 2 Japanese premium destroyer, the Umakaze clone, I'm not going to try and pronounce it. People who bought that ship found it to be thoroughly disappointing because it was, you know, the guns sucked. I mean, the Umakaze's guns were better, and it was non-premium. The Umakaze's torpedoes were better, so the torpedoes on that ship sucked. And it had less HP. And that's kind of something that you see in this ship. It's just not a particularly good ship. But if you're looking for a ship that you can train or retrain destroyer captains for the IJN, for your IJN fleet, then you might consider it, because a lot of the destroyer-related skills help this ship dramatically. So things like situational awareness, the concealment expert, the survivability expert, though, at tier 4, I mean, it's only 1,600 points, but that's still 1,600 points of HP. That's the difference between having surviving a fire at the end of the battle and succumbing to the fire. Speaking of fires, let's see if I can kill this cruiser up here. I've been doing damage to him, I've set him on fire, and there it is. Hey, alright. As far as credit earning goes, it's not a bad ship for credit earning. If you can do decently in a battle like I did here, at just under 50,000 damage, 183,000 credits. XP-wise, 3,400 plus 171 free, which isn't too bad. Top of the team for XP earned. No surprise there. It is me we're talking about. Lots of enemy ships damage. I'm actually kind of disappointed I didn't get the Confederate. And there's the credit earn. Even after everything's paid for, the premium consumables are paid for. That's still over 150,000. Well, folks, if you liked the video, I hope that you hit the like and subscribe button. I'm going to leave you here with a pretty epic double strike and attempted ramming in the turpits. I've got a North Carolina back over here who I've just torpedoed, set him on fire, and now I've got a Russian cruiser coming around the corner who's well within torpedo range, and I'm kind of stuck between a battleship and a torpedo cruiser, but it doesn't matter. Battleship's dead. Shots out. Citadel'd the guy. Finally, he didn't get his torpedoes away. Double strike on the turpits. But yeah, if you like the video, hit that like and subscribe button. Hopefully the video and kind of some of my explanations for the ship help you decide whether or not the Yubari is for you. Again, if you're looking for a ship to train your Japanese destroyer captains on, and tier 4 is where you like to play, I would say that it's a good ship for that. Something if you want to play down at the lower tiers and earn some decent credits, then, maybe consider picking it up. It's not too expensive. But if you're looking for something like a tier 4 version of the Atago, not going to be the case. You're going to be really disappointed in that ship. Yeah. If you're going to go in there and try and play it as anything other than a glass ship with really accurate guns, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to have a really, really bad time. Finally, though, here, turpits. Going to torpedo this North Carolina as he's closing in for the ram. I'm almost dead, by the way. Don't want to... Oh my god, I didn't kill him. Oh, shit. Oh, get the kill. Get the kill. Get the kill. Yes! Just in the nick of time. Anyway, folks, this is Captain Rye, signing off.